Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Before we talk about the next flow, I want to show you something about a source again, that what happens if a source is not located at the origin. So, we will go back to the source flow, source but not located at origin. So, what we are talking about is, let us say, the Cartesian axis x y, and this time the source is located here. And this distance I would like to call as a. Consider a point P which has coordinates r and theta. So, this, if I draw the position vector, this angle is theta and this distance is r. I would like to again draw a position vector wherein this angle is theta 1 and this is r 1. So, with respect to this coordinates r 1 and theta 1, the source is related at the origin. Okay. So, if I had to write down phi, the potential, that would be given as q by 2 pi natural log of r 1, okay, because it is with respect to this. Now, from geometry I can try to relate r and r 1, and I already know that this distance here and this distance here. So, this distance here would be essentially r cosine theta minus a. Okay. So, using this I could write down that my r 1 is simply square root of r sin theta square plus r cosine theta minus a whole square from geometry. And therefore, I could write r 1 as r times 1 plus a square by r square minus twice a r cosine theta raised to the half. So, now I can write down the potential as I can substitute for r 1 in this equation, and that is q by 2 pi natural log of r plus half of natural log of 1 minus twice a r cosine theta plus a square by r square. So, now I have been able to give you a velocity potential for a source that is not at the origin, but slightly shifted from the origin. Now, we will use this result to do another interesting flow, which is known as a doublet. In this flow, we are going to look at source plus sink such that whatever volume flow rate goes out of the source is actually absorbed by the sink. So, there is no net volume flow rate, and we would like to see what the streamlines look like for such a flow. So, to set it up, let us consider the following. This is the x axis, this is the y axis, and I am going to put a source, a sink here. So this has a strength of minus q because it's a sink, and symmetrically I place a source. Okay, and this has a strength of plus q. This is x equal to minus a, and this is x equal to plus a. This I am calling as a source, and this is the sink. Now the combined potential can simply be given as q over 2 pi, first for the source, so natural log of r plus half of natural log of. Now I have to replace this minus a with a plus a for the source, and for the sink I will replace the q with minus q. So this term simply becomes 1 plus twice a r cosine theta plus a square by r square, and then here I get minus q by 2 pi natural log of r plus half of natural log of 1 minus twice a r cosine theta plus a square r square. As you will notice, these two terms, they cancel out. One is a source, the other is a sink, and then I could simply write phi as q divided by 4 pi, and I combine these two terms, that's natural log of 1 plus twice a r cosine theta plus a square by r square minus natural log of 1 minus twice a r cosine theta plus a square by r square. Okay, so that's my velocity potential. Now I am going to take a special case. So consider that A is small such that A by R is extremely small. Then I can neglect the higher order terms. Okay, so if A by R are very small, then A square by R square terms are negligible. I will further use the approximation that if I do natural log of 1 plus minus epsilon, then I can simply replace it with plus minus epsilon, and the epsilon square terms can be neglected. The order of epsilon square and higher. So if I do that, then my phi can actually be written as q times A divided by pi r cosine theta plus higher order terms. Okay. Now I do something very interesting. I would now like to take these sources and sinks and move them very close to each other. So I look at a situation where A tends to 0, so they become very close to each other, almost superimposing on each other. So A goes to 0. In that case, if A goes to 0, then you see this phi, and if Q is finite, then this phi also tends to 0. But I will play a trick. I will say that A tends to 0 and Q tends to infinite. That means these are sources and sinks of very high strength, such that their product A times Q is finite. So I bring them close to each other, their strength is very large, so the product is therefore finite. In that case, I can simply write phi as k times cosine theta by pi r. This k by pi I would like to denote as m, which is actually the strength of doublet. So my phi can simply be written as m cosine theta by r. In fact, now I can compute the speeds. So let me do that. So phi is given as m cosine theta by r, and I will use this to compute my Vr and V theta. Let me remind you what happens in a cylindrical or a polar coordinate system. So as we discussed, I am interested in the speed at this point P, which is at an angle theta. So I am going to draw this coordinate system where this direction is Er and this is my E theta. So my V is actually given as Vr in the direction Er plus V theta in the direction theta. And these are the two components that I would now like to write down in terms of the velocity potential. So Vr is given as del phi by del r, and V theta is 1 over r del phi by del theta. And if you use this value of the velocity potential, then del phi by del r, as you can see, is simply minus m by r square cosine theta, and V theta is minus m by r square sine theta. Okay. Now I can use this, so integrate these to get the stream function psi. And I am skipping the details for you, you can do it yourself. So psi as a function of r theta is given as minus m by r sine theta. Psi equal to constant will give me streamlines. Let me draw the streamlines for you, just to give you a sense of what happens. So this is my x-axis, this is my y-axis, and my doublet is now located at the origin. I am going to get these streamlines which very close to the origin are like little circles close to the origin, but then they deviate from being circles as you go further out. So you can see there are sources and sinks, they are overlapping with each other. So the flow goes out from the source and comes back into the sink. So there is no net mass flow rate. And the streamline over here goes like this one goes like this. And I can now take the mirror image of this on the lower part of the plane. And so on. If I chose instead of m a value minus m, that would actually give me the reverse direction of streamlines. Nothing else would change. Now you can ask, is there another way of getting a doublet? The answer is yes. Just like we have taken a pair of source and sink, we could also take a pair of vortices, the free vortices, a clockwise rotating vortex and a counterclockwise rotating vortex, and they would also give us a doublet. Okay, so I could take a velocity potential with a plus gamma, add to it another potential which is minus gamma, bring them close to each other, and I would get yet another doublet. Okay.